Hello and welcome to your English News broadcast live on ERi-TV. It's exactly 10:30 p.m. on Eritrea's local time from our headquarters at Asmara with your domestic and international news in brief. I'm Zahra Badouri, but first we'll begin with your major headlines for this broadcast. An announcement from the Ministry of Health. Calls for preserving social services provision institutions in Melbourne. Australia, Melbourne reopens as world's most locked-down city eases limits. The DRC, 16 civilians killed in overnight Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo village attack. Welcome to your domestic in brief. 9 patients who have been receiving medical treatment in hospitals in Central Region 5 and Southern Region 4 have recovered fully and have been discharged from these facilities. The total number of recovered patients has accordingly risen to 6,703, while the number of deaths stands at 45. The total number of confirmed cases in the country to date stands at 6,788. Ministry of Health, Asmara, 22nd October 2021. The governor of the Ansaba region, Ambassador Abdullah Musa, called on the public to preserve and maintain the social services provision institutions put in place in their area. Ambassador Abdullah made the call during a tour of inspection he conducted to the subzone of Hamel Malo and Galeb on 19th and 20th of October, accompanied by head of departments and experts. Ambassador Abdullah, after visiting the potable water supply project, health and educational facilities, and transportation services, as well as other social services provision institutions, called on residents to conduct sustainable follow-up on the condition of the institutions for their sustainability. At a meeting the governor conducted with the residents of the subzone, Ambassador Abdullah called for strengthening organizational capacity and participation in the implementation of the charted out development programs. He also called on partners and parents in the areas, administrators, as well as village coordinators to ensure that no school-age children or child remains out of school. Ambassador Abdullah Musa had conducted similar tour of inspection in the Haggaz subzone as well. Educational materials support was extended to 170 disadvantaged students in Forto Sawa and Digge subzones, Gashbarka region, as your final domestic. The objective of the educational materials support that the Ministry of Labour and Social Welfare branch of both subzones extended was to ensure that no student is left out of school because of socioeconomic problems, as well as encouraging students for better outcome. Speaking to Arena, the representative of the branches stated that the support was in continuation of the support being provided to students and other bodies of the society with the aim of alleviating the socioeconomic situation of disadvantaged families. The educational materials were provided to 88 disadvantaged students in Forto Sawa and to 80 students in Digge subzone. Up next with your international after this interval. Stay with us for more. And on your international, State Premier Danielle Andrews promised there will be no lockdowns as Victoria hits its vaccine targets in Australia. People in Melbourne flocked the city's pubs, restaurants and hair salons in the early hours of Friday after the world's most locked-down city emerged from its latest round of restrictions designed to combat the spread of COVID-19. Australia's second largest city has so far endured 262 days, nearly 9 months of restrictions during 6 separate lockdowns since March of 2020, representing the longest cumulative lockdown for any city in the world. Argentina's capital, Buenos Aires, last year went through 34 straight days of lockdown. In Melbourne, people were seen cheering and clapping from their balconies while driving and honking the car's horns continuously at 11:59 p.m. on Thursday, when the lockdown restriction in place since early August came to an end. Victoria's State Premier Danielle Andrews on Friday promised there will be no more lockdowns as the state reaches its vaccination target. On your final international, more than a dozen people also reported missing after the latest Northern Kivu attack blamed on the Allied Democratic Forces aimed group. Attackers have killed at least 16 civilians in 3 villages, according to a monitoring group, in the latest attack to hit the troubled east of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The Kivu security attackers, which maps violence in the region, said on Thursday the killings occurred overnight in the villages of Mele, Kalabo, and Toya in the Beni region of the northern Kivu province. Separately, civil society coordinator Maliki Malola told AFP news agency the death toll was as high as 18, with more than a dozen of people missing. He said 4 women were among those who were shot dead, causing the army failing to pursue the attackers. However, Captain Atoni Maluashe, Army spokesman for the Beni region, said soldiers had clashed with a group of terrorists, including ADF fighters in the area. The Kivu security trackers lists the killing of 944 civilians in northern Kivu and neighboring Ituri province since May, when a state of siege under which senior civilians posts were taken over by military of police officers was declared to try to be equal to the dozens of armed groups that have been roaming the region for more than a quarter of a century. Dear viewers, that is all for now with your domestic and international news in brief. Until we're back with some more news, stay and enjoy the rest of our programs. But until then, these were your major headlines for this broadcast in review. An announcement from the Ministry of Health as your primary domestic. Call for preserving social services provision institution in Australia's Melbourne city reopens as world's most locked-down city, easing limits. The Democratic Republic of Congo, 16 civilians killed in overnight eastern village attack. That is all for now. Thanks for watching and have a nice one.